Welcome to A Comic Book Look, your weekly TV show where we talk about comic books and anything relating to comics. I'm your host, Tom. This is my co-host, John. This is issue number 10, our first landmark issue.
Our own story arc.
That's right.
We did it.
We did it. We finished it up. This is the end of it.
Yeah.
This is the last issue of a trade.
Yeah. We're going to be starting our own reboot, starting over at issue 1 in hopes of increasing market shares. We met with our accountants today and just decided to be a plausible move. You know?
No, screw that. We are not doing that. Do not call us Marvel. No, but yes, it is pretty cool. Today we're going to talk about what the buzz is everywhere. Issue number 10. We're going to talk about Flashpoint, Justice League. Pretty crazy. I don't think there's been another week at the comic book shop where DC puts out 2 books. They put out Flashpoint number 5, finishing up that series, and then Justice League number 1, the first book of the new reboot, where all of our comic book characters we loved can go any way. They could go any different ways that we wouldn't expect or know. They can be different people. They can have different personalities. Apparently the full overall character will still be there, but can be lots of differences. And so with this, it's everybody's talking about it. It's such a ballsy move for DC to cancel all of their books, start all new ones. But it's working for them so far. They're selling a lot of comics.
Yeah.
And and so first, I want to talk about Flashpoint first. I made John read it. He doesn't have a lot of background on Flashpoint, do you?
No. I had the pleasure of reading issue 5, which evidently is where stuff actually starts to happen. And I kind of read it, and I was like, I can't, if you're a Flash fan, like a heavy Flash fan, fine, you got some key stuff in there, you learn a little bit about the character. Reverse Flash is kind of, didn't really do a lot for me. I did pick up Reverse Flash number 1 of 3, I believe, just to check it out, and it was just kind of blah. But it did go in more about how he went to visit Barry's mom and stuff, and so it was, I was kind of familiar with that, I guess. But all in all, as an event, it's kind of a flop in my book. You had a little bit of Batman in there just getting wiped across the floor with Reverse Flash. I ain't buying that.
Well, not in the end.
No, not in the end.
Because
Batman,
Reverse Flash is not alive anymore because of Batman.
Because he stood still. So he got impaled with a sword.
Through the gut.
Through the gut. I don't know.
You didn't read the first 4 yet. I made you read.
I don't plan on reading the first 4. No offense, DC or Flash fans, but
okay.
And it's not even a DC thing. It just wasn't a good story.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Anything.
Even though it was pretty confusing, and they took a lot of, I don't know what you would say, but they a lot of shortcuts. They used a lot of comic booky stuff to, kind of dumb it down and also just make you expect that you just have to go with it because it's a comic and you just kind of got to go with it. The whole thing is, I guess, what I took out of it is Flashpoint, which Flash thought that Reverse Flash made is like an alternate timeline where all our superheroes are different. It's not Bruce Wayne, it's Thomas Wayne, and different things like this are different. It's like an alternate timeline. Flash gets pulled in. This book reveals that it wasn't Reverse Flash that caused this, but it was actually Flash. When Flash went back on the anniversary of his mother's death, the 1-year anniversary, he got emotional and he did what he said he would never do, and he used his Speed Force to go back in time and change the history so his mother would live. That is supposed to be the thing that caused Flashpoint then to emerge up and create this alternate timeline, which it still doesn't make sense to me because, if you're going to do it like chronologically, if she did that, probably Batman's parents are already dead by this point.
Yeah.
And so you can't really have Thomas be alive and Bruce be dead. But you just don't have to worry about that stuff. You just just go with the flow. All it's right. Comic books, and and he has to then end up, Thomas was like, you just gotta run to put it all back together. Why? Who knows? Why the fuck does he have to run? Because that's apparently
kind of
what
like
he has to
Forrest
do.
Gump, but with tights. So, the interesting thing though is the end of issue 5, the little scene, little cutesy scene in the Batcave. Bruce, I'm home. Hey, how's your day? Oh, nothing. It was just kind of the world was ending, and you mean to tell me it was an alternate reality? Yeah. And then Bruce is like, okay. And then Barry gives him a letter from Thomas, and I'm like, if that's supposed to be a tearjerker, it just
Exactly,
was horny. It was horrible. The character didn't deserve that. It was like a kick in the balls to Bruce Wayne in my book. I think it could have done way better. It was dumb.
I agree. I mean, it was supposed to be something that was supposed to, drive it home. They should have a big close-up of Bruce, eyes watering because he's reading this letter that's written from his dad, which is supposed to be such a big impact, and it really misses it. Yeah. I mean, you kind of see them going into Justice League and going past it, though, as in... Flash, Barry's like, Bruce, it is Bruce, right? Mm-hmm. And Bruce is like, Barry, yeah, obviously this is Bruce. I mean, you should know me by now. Exactly. Because, in this one, Dick Grayson was never Batman. Like it's been before. Bruce has always been Batman, and that's why Bruce kind of felt it was odd that he even said anything about it. Yeah. So, you kind of already seen the end of the Flashpoint. But yeah, it was a completely dumb...
That's the Flashpoint.
Or the beginning, I meant to say the beginning of the New 52 with that. But yeah, I mean, really bad ending. Also, they have this girl that you just have to run, and this is how it gets fixed, which is unreal. Thomas Wayne tells him to run after he stabbed... Reverse Flash in the back, and then he's like, you have to run, that's the only way to get rid of this world and get back to the normal world. Well, he starts to run really fast, and then this is word for word, I'll read it. Goes, I need to run back into the time stream, but I see 3 timelines. Why? And then this mysterious woman who we've never seen before right here, we'll show a closer picture of her, says, because the history of heroes was shattered into 3 long ago. 3 timelines is what she's saying. Weakened or splintered to weaken your world for the impending arrival. Arrival of what? Apparently a storyline to come in the New 52. You all must stand together. The timelines must become one again. So this is, the emerging of Wildstorm, DC, and I would assume maybe Flashpoint or whatever else they're putting in there. Maybe the old Vertigo, if that's what they're throwing in. I don't know. But I thought that was all already taken care of in Brightest Day. So, I don't know. 3 timelines, apparently, though. There's 3 of them. And then she says, you must all stand together. The timelines must become one again. You can help me fix that, Barry, but it will come at a cost. He goes, who is that? What? What's happening? What? Boom. Next page, he's back to normal. He's just at his desk. Yeah. And that's when he's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Him and Bruce holding hands.
Yep. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, yeah, I'm good to go. I'm just going to go. I got to go home. And then he goes to the Batcave. Yeah. And then that's where that takes place. So, yeah, some mysterious lady apparently fixes it, but they don't tell you anything, which is kind of weird. But then to transition into this book...
So the good news now.
Yeah. Look at this lady right here.
What?
Get a good glimpse of her again. On the running page, the middle lady right there.
Okay.
And then she appears right there.
Oh, what a creep.
You never even see that man.
Lurking
in the background.
It's on a football game.
It's where Cyborg is playing football. He's not Cyborg yet. And in the way background, there's this girl who's causing all this is in the background of this. And so I think, they're setting up some storylines. It's going to be the next storyline. So kind of weird how it's coming in, but hopefully we get a little bit more.
How did you even catch that?
I saw it on the internet. Oh. I didn't find it. I was...
I can just see you with your little magnifying glass.
Oh, no.
Where's
I check over every single person.
Is that Wolverine?
It's like a person in the background behind the football stands. I didn't notice it. Someone else pointed it out. Then I looked into it further.
That's awesome.
But yeah, overall, I thought Flashpoint started well. The books were kind of funny. They're written in a really old style where it's such all the dialogue explains so much, and that is like really reminds me of comics of the 80s.
Sure.
And that was like almost novelty, kind of cool at the beginning. They were doing big cliffhangers after each book. You were hoping it was going to lead to something good, and then number 5 comes out, and it's this convoluted mess of just storylines that aren't making sense and things that are happening that really aren't explained well. So, you know, overall I was definitely disappointed with Flashpoint, especially when I wanted to be so excited going into the reboot.
Almost like a Chaos Wars kind of a feel.
Yeah. Well, I guess not that bad. I knew Chaos Wars was bad right away.
So, I was going to ask you too, like, what was the point of all these offshoots of Flashpoint? Because there were some other titles involving Batman and so forth.
Well,
did they really have any relevance whatsoever to the story?
Well, some did, some didn't. Batman, absolutely none. It had nothing to do with it.
Were they good issues at least? Or?
The best 3 issues that came out of Flashpoint were by far the Batman stories.
Wow.
And it's just, yeah, and it's stupid. It's just because it's Thomas Wayne as Batman instead of Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay,
and that's why it's like connected to
It's fun
Flashpoint.
read, I guess.
But I mean, it is strictly not involved in this story. It is, if you were going to think about buying Flashpoint, go buy the Vengeance of Batman or whatever, or Vengeance of the Dark Knight, I think is what it's called. Just buy those 3 issues. Don't worry about this, and then think, instead of it says Flashpoint, just think it says Elseworlds. You know, and then you will love that book. 'Cause those 3 books were awesome. Some other ones, you know, like they had the Wonder Woman ones to talk about that, and the Aquaman, because that was the big war in Flashpoint, was Aquaman and Wonder Woman were fighting over Lake Britain.
Oh.
That was like the whole main thing about Flashpoint. And then, like, they come in here and they're, all the guys are fighting, and Superman comes in and one, and he's this skinny little Superman who's never been around. And, you know, and Flash told them when they met Superman, he's going to come back and save us all. Superman's the best superhero ever. None of them believed him. He ended up doing pretty good. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, and then these guys, Grifter and crew, you know, they had another book as well. I didn't even read it, even though I'm a big Grifter fan. But, you know, those tied in. But, you know, just like any tie-ins, you know, they're hit or miss. You don't need to pick them up. You shouldn't pick them up, probably, until you've heard other people say they're really good.
Yeah.
Is at least, you know, usually the best way to go. But yeah, you know, Flashpoint, kind of lame.
I'll drink to that.
Yep. So, Justice League, number 1, DC. Have you ever read a Justice League book before?
Nope.
So, first Justice League book ever.
And what a way to do it. What a way to do it.
Was you are the kind of fan that they were aiming for.
Yeah.
Somebody who's never read a lot of DC comics. You know, someone who want somebody to be excited for the characters, and even though they're probably relatively new, at least the inner, you know, obviously you know all the characters,
right?
You know, but I mean, reading about them is probably a new thing. What are your feelings?
It was a great issue. Like, I don't regret buying it whatsoever. I was more excited about Justice League than I was about any of the Marvel that came out this week. In fact, the only other book I got this week was the Uncanny X-Force, which actually got good. I was ragging on the other X-Force one, you know, because they come out back to back. Weird. Mm-hmm. But this newest one, I believe it's issue 14 or something like that.
It would be 14 because our last episode we just did it on
13.
Yeah.
Which was a bad issue, but 14 was a lot better. Anyways, but no, I was so stoked about this. I am just beyond excited for reading some of these other DC number 1s coming up, because the quality is just, it's there. This book was just fun. Green Lantern was kind of a little bit of a camera horror, but at the same time, I love seeing the Green Ring being used creatively, and that was cool. Like the big bats attacking the news copter or military copters or whatever it was. Yeah, like that was cool. Flying around in a green jet, Batman making fun of him. Awesome. I love seeing the dynamics between the characters like that. Him making fun of Batman for being that guy in a bat suit. Just it was fun. Like, I am so excited to just learn more about these other characters in here. We didn't get to see Wonder Woman or Aqualad. Aqualad, we could do without him. We don't need him on the team.
Aquaman.
Whatever his name is. No.
You watch too much Titans.
I don't know, man.
Aqualad.
I'm just, you know what I mean? If he's a cool character down the road, fine, but I'm not going to vouch for him right now. But,
so you're okay that they only had Batman, Green Lantern,
and Superman.
Superman at the very end,
Cyborg a little
and
bit.
the start of Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're missing Wonder Woman.
I want to learn more about Wonder Woman, and I am
We're missing
strongly
Aquaman.
thinking about checking out
We're
her
missing
book.
Flash.
Yeah. Her book looks really cool, though, because weren't you saying it's supposed to be kind of like a different style?
Yeah, it's going to be like a horror book. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
How
that's
cool
one
is
of the
that?
most. I'm definitely. That's probably, if not the most. I'm most excited for. You know, definitely top 5 new ones. I'm most excited for.
So, I mean, I really am excited for this line. I'm going to continue buying it. This issue is just, it was fun. It was a breath of fresh air. It's exactly what the reader needed. So, I think they hit it out of the park. Artwork was spot on. Wonderful issue. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
5 stars. 5.5 stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
5.5 out of 5. That is.
I'll even give it over Dark Avengers #1 this time around.
Wow,
You
never-
win, DC.
Let's mark this date down in history. Even though maybe you're just coming to your senses, Dark Avengers #1 sucked.
No, dude, because your neighbor actually asked about the best cover that.
I saw that.
And guess what I said? Dark Avengers #1.
You said it right away. You
Yep.
knew. I didn't. I
It's
couldn't
that
even respond.
simple, you know?
I was like, I need to go to my. What we're talking about is on our Facebook page. A guy who's always on there, CT. He is my next door neighbor, and he's the man. And he wrote, asked people what is the best comic book cover that you own. John immediately said Dark Avengers. I couldn't think. I own.
I was trying to be an active part of the community.
Yeah, exactly. I kept on trying to think what I want. I changed as soon as I type it in. I'd be like, well, there's cooler covers, so I never came up with one.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, I thought this book was super okay.
What?
Yeah.
How did it disappoint you?
A couple different things disappointing.
What?
I didn't see Wonder Woman. I didn't see Aquaman.
Oh.
I didn't see Flash. They're on the cover of this book. I was expecting $3.99. I was expecting 40 pages of art, a huge book to start in, give me a full story that's completed and introduces me to all the characters,
true.
even if it's just one.
That's true.
That's what I went in wanting. Was this book okay? Yes. Am I going to pick up the next one? Yes. It is. Once I was holding it, going, Justice League #1.
And you could tell.
2 DC books came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kept on getting heavier and heavier and heavier. That, I mean, this is a book that is going to be talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a huge change that, whether this pans out to be good or bad, everybody will be referring back to this point. They're already playing with the way that the characters are, which is good. And so all those things are good about it, but did it just like blow me away, and was I like ready, just so excited to, want 100 more issues today? No, I guess it didn't blow me away. Did it blow me away that this is a whole new universe, that we're going to get 51 other titles? Super excited for that. Super excited that DC went through this change, grabbed the bull by the horns, and, just
Go
did
for
something
it.
and took a chance.
Just go for it.
So yes, I do like it that way. Some things I didn't like about it was Green Lantern. I mean, he was so smart-assy. He's so so cocky that, sometimes it's just like, dude, Green Lantern, shut up. When he's talking to Batman about, like, oh, you just stay here, I'm going to put you in a little cage, I'll go take care of Superman real quick, it shouldn't be a problem, maybe you've seen my green ring. That was like, okay, a little much. What worked, though, with him being cocky was, Superman knocking him out. That was awesome. And then, also, when Green Lantern's like, yeah, Batman, you're real, blah, blah, talks with him a little bit, cocks off a little bit, and then is like, so what are your powers? I didn't see that. I saw you couldn't fly, super strength or what? And no, and he's like, no, don't tell me you're just a guy dressed in a bat suit. I mean, that's funny, that's something we wouldn't have seen before, and, it's bringing these characters to meet each other for the first time, which is kind of just funny and cool that this is actually taking place in canon DC universe. And so that was fun. He then steals Green Lantern's ring without Green Lantern knowing, and then Green Lantern's body starts to change right away into his old clothes. He's like, hey, what the hell, what are you doing? Give me that back. And it just shows right away that, Batman's still obviously not a guy to be messed with. But, also, it's still comic book fun. And, Jeff Johns, same guy who wrote Flashpoint, he's doing this kind of dialogue that is just, definitely made for somebody who's just not used to these characters.
Yeah.
Because if you're a long time Superman and Green Lantern and Batman fan and even Cyborg, you're like, give me a break here. Because you're so used to them interacting that you haven't even thought about what it would be like if they interacted for the first time.
Yeah.
So then, all my complaints aside, it is a great ending. I mean, the ending is so good because it's exactly what you want in the first issue. You want it to come out, they pop out Superman, and he says, so, what can you do? Because he's heard of Batman, he's talking to Batman, he's heard of Batman before, he just took out Green Lantern, and Batman talks earlier about how he already considers Superman a huge threat because he's too powerful. He's too powerful, nobody should be that powerful. And then it's funny to have Superman be like, what can you do? Just like Green Lantern, because these superheroes are meeting for the first time and they are so interested in what what's your other superpower? It's like they're so much more human than what they've been, where they have been been able to beat anything and they're always gonna win and they know everything. It's a lot different, and so that's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely something I enjoyed about it, for sure.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm just so stoked for even next week. I mean, there's got to be something coming out that I'm going to buy from DC. And you got a heavy week coming up, too. We talked about that last week a little bit.
Hell yeah, man. I'm so excited for next week. Dude, Scott Snyder, obviously I've been talking about him a lot. He's writing the Batman that I told you you have to buy. And I'll at least buy it digitally a week later. $1.99 then.
Is it?
Yeah, with this DC reboot, they're doing all of them same day and date digital.
Okay.
Well, if you are willing to wait, so you don't have to buy it out the week it comes out, you get it for $1 off. Think about that, people who want to check these books out,
or at least check the number ones out.
Yeah, and so this week though, Scott Snyder. What I was getting back to, Scott Snyder has was on some different videos that they were showing for the midnight release of Justice League. Some different comic shops in bigger cities had parties where you could go, and then at midnight they released it. Everybody could buy it and talk about it and hang out. And they were doing this one in Midtown New York and Midtown Comics in New York. And Scott Snyder was just outside. Cliff Chang was outside, and they're just greeting all the people that are waiting for the book and talking to him and stuff. And then so some people ended up getting videos with him. I saw one on Newsarama and iFanboy. And it was really cool to hear Scott Snyder talk about how many books he's read, how excited he is for them, and how this is such a creator-driven event where DC told these creators that, hey, we're potentially going to be a reboot. We're not going to, we're going to kind of restart it. If you have reboot ideas that are going to be awesome, then please pitch those right now, and then if they're good enough, we'll allow it. And then he talks about how Batman, everything was going so well for Batman that him, Tony Daniel, Gail Simone, and Grant Morrison, or I don't even know if he said Grant Morrison, but the other people that were writing the Batman books, they got together and they said, hey, what should we change? Should we change Two-Face? Should we change these things? And they all agreed that Batman is doing so well right now and is such a good book, they're not changing anything.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
don't
just
have any problems with it.
That's just so cool, how some things can change, and then the Batman world is not going to change at all. Then he continued to talk about. He's talked about Swamp Thing before that comes out this Wednesday, and I'm super excited for that.
It's a new approach to it, based on what I've seen.
Yeah, and he's people who have gotten copies ahead of time that have talked about it said it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Cool.
And then he's also said the best book that he's read out of any of them, and I've heard this from a few different people that are getting these advanced copies, is Animal Man. People are talking like this Animal Man is going to be like the best book around. So I was planning on picking up anyway. Jeff Lemire's writing it. He's a really cool, used to be really cool indie artist who's gotten into the mainstream lately with DC. But it's just an exciting time in comics, and it's exciting to be a fan at this time. If you were like Johnny, you loved Justice League, that was just so awesome. If you were like me and you liked it a lot and you're gonna keep with it, just remember that's fine. This is one book out of 51, and this is a book that I, who have read DC, know these characters, didn't like it as much. John, who didn't, the people that they were trying to aim this book for, loved it.
Yeah.
That's success. You know, that's what they were aiming to do.
And if you're just someone that flat out doesn't like it, you still, like you say, you got 51 other titles to give a try.
Exactly.
I definitely encourage you. I mean, if you watched episode 1, I was Mr. Marvel. I went to bed with Marvel. I ate breakfast with Marvel, etc. You know, but you gotta just try different comics. And for all you, you know, you guys that are looking for something new to try out, or if you're just new to the comic books period, jump on board. Well, you know, it's still, you know, it's hot out of the oven. Number 1. You know,
exactly.
Issues, and that's definitely the way to do it. I totally encourage it, and I've enjoyed it so far. So
yeah, we got
some more. Our shows this month are just gonna be off the hook with these number 1s.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm
but it's like
excited.
at this time, you know, what else do people want to hear about, or I mean, what else do we want to talk
until
about?
Marvel gives us something to really talk about, you know, or you know, if anything else comes up, you know, we'll definitely talk about it. But right now, it's DC, man.
And I like doing those themed shows that we've done in the
Yeah.
past about, you know, I mean, teams and, you know, specific movies and,
Yep.
but there's so much buzz.
Yep.
This book,
and it's understandable.
over 200,000 copies of this sucker is out.
Yep.
You know, way more than what we were selling. And DC's doing cool things with these number 1 books that retailers can return them and do some different things or get some money back if they don't sell a bunch.
Okay.
So hopefully all the retailers won't be selling out of anything. You can all get the books that you want, even if you're not there on Wednesdays.
Now, what's going on with the pricing? Because you mentioned like this one was the $3.99 on there, and then the digital was $1.99 if you waited a week later. So when are we gonna start seeing that $2.99?
This is the only DC book that will be $3.99.
Understood. Okay.
Every single book is going to be $2.99. This was going to be
Was that as of September kind of a thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Back when they said, you know, stop the line at $2.99
Sure.
or draw the line at $2.99, they're going to stick with that. It's just like the ones that are supposed to have more content and over, you know, they put in more. So this one is bullcrap. It's only 24 pages of art. The extra stuff they put in is a Flashpoint poster page, some Jim Lee sketch art or pencil art. And
Which was I thought that was kind of
which is cool,
yeah.
especially because if you look here, they have Cyborg here and Aquaman here, and then in the final one they put Aquaman there and Cyborg up front.
Yeah, wow.
So you know, some editor at DC, which that's weird because Jim Lee runs DC basically, must have said let's put Cyborg in front. Then they do the character sketches of like the main people, and so that's like supposed to be your bonus things that are worth $1. I don't think so, but you know, whatever. We're gonna continue from here. Everything is gonna be $2.99.
Cool.
So it's drawing the line at $2.99. Still is going to be in effect, and that's really nice. Because paying $4 for comics sucks.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And so then that's what it's going to be like. This one a week later is going to be $2.99 because it's going to be $1 off digitally.
Okay.
And then I think there was places, I don't know if our comic shop did that, but you could buy this.
Plus something for $4.99.
Yeah.
What was that?
If you paid $4.99, you got this and then like a copy, a code or something to get this digitally.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's pretty cool if you're into that.
Push that medium. Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm kind of I think we should definitely take a look at those numbers, you know, or if anybody else out there sees any numbers of how digital does for DC versus what's selling in the stores, we'd love to hear about that on there because I'm kind of curious. You know, it's a newer frontier for the comic book industry.
It's going to be talked about. We'll definitely have numbers. I mean, we'll definitely figure it out because I'm super interested in knowing.
Yeah, just how it goes. I'm still a paper guy. Tom's still a paper guy. I mean, I was looking at digital for a while and I thought about it like, I like reading once in a while. I reread my stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always borrowing from Tom, so I'm rereading his stuff.
Exactly.
Well, not rereading, but... By the way, Batman and Robin 4 through 6, awesome. So Tom's got me on this little IV of good comics, and
that's that.
A little
Grant Morrison
overwhelming, but
yeah, it's really good.
Just playing.
But yeah.
Oh hey, speaking of which, Red Sun.
Oh, you read it?
That. I finished it. Brought it back tonight. That's just a way different take on a communist Superman.
Yep. He's talking about Superman, Red Son, The Elseworlds Tale by Mark Miller. And
Wowzers.
I don't know though. I can't remember.
Little
the artist.
Batman with his little fur thing on the front.
Dude,
Lol.
that Batman is so badass. He's
it was just crazy.
ready
Wonder
to sacrifice
Woman.
himself.
Oh, shoot.
You know? Yeah.
It was a good read though. I was like, it took me like 4 work days to do it because I was doing it on breaks and stuff. Because there was a lot said and I was interested in what they had to say.
Yeah.
President Luther, lol.
How about the ending, where it comes like all the way full through and then like it like kind of like restarts? You know, almost like he's getting sent off again, or you know, like the baby would be getting sent off again. It could be Superman.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting, but apparently Mark Miller stole that idea from Grant Morrison. Like Grant Morrison and him were talking about it. Grant Morrison is that creator that I put on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they were talking about comics and stuff, and this is an idea that Grant Morrison had, and Mark Miller just ripped him off.
And just did it. Mm.
So
It was a good read. I mean,
yeah, but no, I love that book still. Love it. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for reading it. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
To get me some more reads now, I'm out of ammo.
Yep, I have plenty. For sure. All right, John, anything else you want to talk about or anything else been on your comic agenda?
Well, basically, not a lot. I picked up the Women of Marvel calendar.
You did, huh?
I was showing it to Gabe at work, and he was like, "You're weird." I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's gonna be awesome." And the only reason I got it, any guesses? I got 2 reasons. Come on,
Dagger?
you know this. Oh, she's not in there. That was close.
I don't know.
You got Emma Frost, and then you got Moonstone dressed up as Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Women.
I got you.
Women like
Moonstone.
Charlie Sheen. That's gonna hang up in my living room.
That's funny.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, you're the only fool who you're always buying poster books and calendars and
Hey,
you're keeping
speaking
more.
of poster books, how about
That's
that?
right.
We're
Yeah.
keeping it decorated. We got to keep it fresh on this wall.
I know always have I have so many Marvel things on my wall because
is it some
DC doesn't make
No.
poster books.
We need to ask the comic book store. I was going to ask them about that Justice League poster if anyone had dibs on that. I'm imagining someone might, but it doesn't hurt to ask because they're all about,
Yeah, that's true.
We should
actually.
ask
I
them.
will definitely ask them that. I
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah. I saw it in the window. I was like,
Even though I had complaints about it, I still want the poster. It's still a cool landmark.
We'll get some DC up here, you guys. Don't lose faith in us.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say, too, when I was looking at the images for last week's episode, is that Generation X did have a TV show, as you saw. Isn't that horrible looking?
Dude, when I looked at that picture, I was like, this is the best picture you can... I'm going to show it again, because I was like, this picture is, like, rustic as shit.
But that's what it was.
I wouldn't... Looking at that picture, I'm like, I would never want to watch this. But I didn't see any Jubilee Lake character on the cover.
Yeah,
so I
they
don't think it's exactly... Must not be Marvel sponsored.
I don't think so, but Emma Frost is in there. I mean, how
Are you
could it be?
serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't look hard enough then.
Oh man, it was terrible.
Maybe
I
it was
didn't see a
sponsored.
single episode. If any of you guys have seen a single
We're gonna
episode,
have to
shoot us a
YouTube that
line
or
and let us
something.
know because I mean we should look that up on YouTube. I was so curious about that, so I'm glad that I looked into that. It was
sure.
legit though. I wasn't losing my mind. Wasn't there another one too called like Mutant X or something a little more recently?
God, no. At least not that I know about. You need
Horrible like that.
to inform me on these horrible TV shows that I should watch.
That's what dreams are made of.
Have you watched it? Did you ever go to the movie Cowboys and Aliens or Conan the Barbarian?
No. I need to.
Yeah, I just was wondering if
I
you
need
did.
to. I haven't even seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes yet. I'm way behind on schedule.
Yeah,
And then wasn't there... What's this movie about the fans, the comic book fans or nerd fans, or what's it called? There's another movie out about...
A new one?
No, it was about a year ago or something. But, like, it's...
Called Fanboys? About Star
Fanboys
Wars?
or something. I don't know.
Was it about Star Wars?
Probably. I don't know. Like, it was just
That
really
sounds weird.
intentionally nerdy, and I want to watch it because it's, like, the story of my life.
Well, there's this, like, Fanboys is this show about, like, these 3 guys who are obsessed with Star Wars. They, like, work at a comic shop, and they end up going to George Lucas's house to, like, see the Phantom Menace before it comes out, and it's based on a true story, because, like, one of their friends has cancer, so they're like...
Oh, okay.
They're like, we gotta watch this before you die, bro.
Yeah.
It ends up being like it's a hilarious movie. Some people didn't like it. I really liked it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one you're thinking about. I don't know if it is or not,
Oh.
but yeah, that's a good movie. But yeah, I saw Conan the Barbarian. I saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I saw Cowboys and Aliens, and I've heard bad things about Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Conan the Barbarian. I thought they were both great. Both
Yeah.
great. Great movies. Cowboys and Aliens was, a movie I saw it once. It was okay. Harrison Ford, cool, and I have no desire to watch it again. But it was worth watching it one time.
I was talking to my buddy from California, and I was like, "Had you seen, Thor, Captain America?" "Oh, I heard crappy reviews about those." And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't know. I used to live out in California, and based on that, I'm happy to be out here where people have common sense, They were good movies. I mean, I had no qualms with those whatsoever. I went into them thinking they were going to be horrible. I was skeptical as hell, but they pulled them off, both of them. We talked about that already, so I'm not going to go into it, but I was just kind of like, I said, Brian, you're losing your mind. Move out here and get your Midwest common sense back, I guess. I don't know. Everyone's a critic, but yeah.
But yeah, you should check out Conan and Rise of the Planet of the Apes for sure. Yep. All right, man. Well, thanks for the wine tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Another good episode, issue number 10,
Next week again, we're starting at number 1, so don't freak.
I'm not starting at number 1.
It's a marketing scheme.
Not a chance. We will never start at number 1. Ever.
It could be a typo, just say
it probably will be with me editing these videos. God. Sorry if you guys catch all these wrong things that I'm doing. That happens.
It's okay. I put my foot in my mouth every episode.
Exactly. So. But anyway, hey, well, thanks for sticking with us once again, guys. It's been a great episode. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook page, Comic Book Look.
We want you to come talk to us on Facebook. It's real. It's interactive. It's easygoing. We love. We just get the most random things posted on there and interesting stuff. I mean, please join up with us. It's so fun just to talk to other people. And
definitely is. And comment on our YouTube page. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends, tell your family. Post a link to us somewhere. Let other people know about us. We want people to hear about us. We want to keep on doing this, and it's been fun for us. Thanks again to Invetter at MediaJunkies.com, like always, because you guys are great. And other than that, issue number 10 is completed, man. Thank you so much.
And shout out to Tom's dad, because he watches us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's what he said.
I guarantee my dad he's never going to get to this part because he's not going to be able to handle watching this for more than 10 minutes of me talking comic books.
Alright, I'll tell him I gave him a shout out and it'll be like an Easter.
I will.
You'll have to watch it.
You'll have to watch this one now. Alright, well thanks guys.
Keep it comics.